Another day, another thought. Welcome all to another edition of the Double Thought Show. Hope everyone is doing well. As you guys know, I'm RJ here together with my co-host KR. KR, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. Everything all right over here, man.
Awesome.
Still in my mama's basement.
Allegedly,
Allegedly, according to some. The streets is talking.
streets is talking. Hey, thanks to everyone who's following this live show, or in this case, this pre-recorded live show, as well as everyone watching the rebroadcast. Guys, please let us know if you can hear us by putting one in the chat. We are in the chat actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
we are
we,
in the
we
chat.
are in the chat. So although this is a pre-recorded video, because usually on our live shows we share the link so you guys can come up and express your
Mhm.
thoughts and opinions. But in this case, it's a pre-recorded live show. However, we are in the comment section, so please, if you have anything to add to the conversation, feel free to do so.
Yes, guys, share your thoughts. I mean, we are there to discuss this topic. I think this is a very interesting topic we're going to discuss today because um yeah, it's one of the biggest stories out right now. But before we continue, guys, please remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, like the live show, or at least like this show you're watching in right now. If you're watching the rebroadcast or the the video after we broadcast it, please like it as well. It helps us with the algorithm and it also helps with the recommendations. The more people like it, the more it will spread the word around on the platform of YouTube, and more people will be able to see the video. Of course, if this is your first time watching the Double Thought Show, don't forget to subscribe. We are trying to get our subscribers up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are really trying to focus on the subscribers. The views are doing okay,
Can be
but in
better.
the end, it's about building that community, and we want you to be part of that community. Don't forget that. We are about sharing thoughts and ideas, and we hope you'll be part of that community. Share your thoughts and ideas with us, and we can discuss it. It's an open platform. So don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time. And guys, one of the most important things, if you're watching this and you think it's very interesting, please share the video with your friends, family, and also, very important one, distract your enemies with them so you can, not gonna say the word. RJ, please, do you have a disclaimer you want to share? Because I don't want to get any charges or cases on my name because what I just said.
Yeah, because I will snitch. Guys, before we proceed with the full story, I want to add the usual disclaimer and take note the gesture KR made a couple of seconds ago also fall under this disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in in the videos and articles we show here on the Double Thought Show channel do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and opinions of the Double Thought Show, KR, nor myself. Remember that all topics we discuss are for uh, entertainment purposes and out of curiosity as well, to try to understand the topic better. So remember, guys, viewer discretion is advised. Also remember that all commentary is alleged. We don't know anything. Furthermore, for the purpose of this show, we are not any type of advisors. We're no financial advisor, life advisor, legal advisor, or any kind of advisor for the purpose of this show. If you require assistance in a particular area of your life, we strongly urge you to seek out advice and support from the respective professionals.
Yes, RJ, by the way, if I give you one, is it true if I give you $1, that means I've bought your services and you cannot snitch? because you're my lawyer.
Well, if you were my client, you would have known that I wouldn't take that dollar. Not even.
Oh, by the way, look at your bank account. You have $1.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like
Anyway, guys, all jokes aside, I think we can start the show. Yes, sir. It's showtime today. In today's show, we're going to discuss the topic of Black Lives Matter and, of course, Tyree Nicholson. Tyree Nicholson. Very unfortunate situation down in Memphis.
Nichols.
Nichols, sorry. Yeah, Nichols. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Very unfortunate situation down in Memphis.
Yeah. Our thoughts and
Where,
prayers. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of the late Tyre Nichols.
yes, that's definitely the first thing, most important thing we want to say. To start off with. Yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation, but at the end of the day, the question we are asking ourselves today is: will Black Lives Matter try to exploit this Tyree Nichols beating as they did in previous situations?
The beating and deletion.
And deletion, yes.
The beating that.
But I cannot put deletion in the title.
No.
So I called it a situation.
Yeah.
Gotta be smart.
Yeah. And again, guys, we are here to discuss the topic. We here at the Double Touch Show, we don't like to jump to conclusions without first exploring a topic. And here on the Double Touch Show, we are here on our channel. We're also open to hearing different kind of opinions, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. The whole purpose we're talking about this is because we've covered Black Lives Matter. And when we say Black Lives Matter, just to be clear, we're not talking about the movement Black Lives Matter. We're also not talking about whether Black Lives Matter or not, because it's obvious they do. When we here on the Double Touch Show talk about Black Lives Matter, we are specifically referring to the organizations, plural, that call themselves Black Lives Matter, that consist of people who initiated the Black Lives Matter movement, the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement, but then became an organization and that was accused by a lot of people of
Even internally
of mismanagement and misusing donations for personal purposes. So to be clear, we're talking about the organization, we're not talking about the movement.
Before we continue, great point right there, RJ. Before we continue, we have the video here in front of us right here, guys. It's called Black Lives Matter. It's in our live video group. Black Lives Matter exposed another shocking financial scandal.
Yeah.
And in this video, we talk about what is the group, what do they stand for, what are their goals. It's a lot of controversial stuff. A lot. You wouldn't expect it from an organization that says they are there for Black people, where it seems like they are targeting only specific Black people and using others to get donations in order to proceed with their vision.
Yeah. I think this is a statement I made in that show, I think, or it could have been one of the other shows where we didn't discuss BLM. So it wasn't the main topic of the show, but I could have mentioned it. I commented that it's very remarkable that the BLM organizations get the most traction, the most donations, the most attention when black men are deleted or black men fall victim to uh, certain types of injustice. But when you look at their mission statement and vision statement, it almost seems like they do not include black men. So for that purpose, we are talking about for that purpose we want to talk about whether or not BLM will again use an unfortunate situation in which a black man became victim to try to gain traction and get more donations
And get ahead.
and get ahead. Yeah.
Yes, guys, we urge you, if you have time, just go watch this is a very, it will give you a very deep insight in the organization. I mean, it's 2 hours, and that was our second. Oh, by the way,
Spot the difference.
it's like it's it's like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. You have the same hoodie on now that you had that day.
Yeah, that's
That was
just
the
crazy.
second show,
Maybe
guys.
I should call this my Black Lives Matter hoodie.
Yeah, guys, definitely go check it out. That was the one of the first. Was that the second show, KR?
That's the second show. Seems like ages ago.
Yeah, that was the second show. So you will definitely see a difference and feel a difference and hear a difference in quality. But
Quality, smoothness. We're a bit more smoother these days.
yeah. But
Back then, we seemed like deers in the headlight. But okay,
which was the theme of our last show.
yeah.
But
You see that transition, guys. That, like I said, we are a bit smoother these days.
yeah. But this is definitely so maybe the quality in itself might not be as what it is today, and we still have room for improvement. We and you will
We're working on
definitely
a couple of things.
definitely see that in the up and coming shows. But yeah, the content itself was very good, if I do say so myself. We talked about how we went in, well, that's something that was
Yeah,
one of the
watch
purpose
it.
of this show.
Take your time, guys. Watch it. And yeah, you will learn a thing or two about the organization. But to bring it back to,
Or you can add a thing or two to the conversation as well.
we're just that much smoother. Jeez. Anyway, guys, so basically, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. But as we already know, yesterday, the 27th of January 2023, the Memphis Police Department released the body cam footage of the beating of Tyre Nichols. It's a horrible couple of videos. If you watch it, we're gonna discuss it later what happened. But after release of that video, Black Lives Matter decided, and I'm talking about the organization, as RJ already said, they have released a statement where they basically condemn the deletion, or almost used the word as I was reading. They condemned the deletion of Tyre, as they should, as we also do. As
Yeah.
we already said, prayers out to the families and friends. But they also add other things to that. Things which you ask yourself, is this actually will it actually help the communities they try to stand up for?
Yeah. Definitely ask yourself that, Kiara.
You can ask yourself, and we're gonna talk about it further down the show. because
Yeah.
there are a couple of things that they keep hammering on the same things they said before, but who's the one who's gonna suffer
Exactly.
if you implement those changes, which they want? We already see kind of the results of certain changes in where the police department focuses on, notably in California. What will happen if that is rolled out nationwide? Is it every man, woman, and child for its own? We'll talk about it. Guys, let us know what you think about the organization. Maybe if you've watched already a show up or two of us. If you already know what they stand for. Let us know in the comments or in the chat. It's very interesting topic to discuss. I mean, this organization is, you could ask yourself if they really are trying to help. Are they really trying to help? Again, we're not talking about the movement. We're talking about the organization behind the movement, the organization that receives all the donations and try to spread it around. But you got to ask yourself, are they spreading around to prevent this from happening in the future? Or are they spreading it around and hoping the party can go on? Maybe that's not the right wording, party, but
Well, that's what they do in their mansions nowadays. Allegedly.
that is that is alleged,
Yeah.
and that could be something that is happening. Yes, yes. So, guys, to bring it back to Tyree, we both have watched the video, and we cannot show it in this broadcast because otherwise YouTube will restrict access by age.
Yeah. You would need to you would need to
Verify your age either by ID or by credit card.
yeah, it's
We don't
crazy.
want to do that to you guys. I'm not gonna enter a different rabbit hole, but we're not gonna do that to you guys. If you guys want to watch the videos, you can Google full video Tyree Nichols, and one of the highest ranked links is the one you can find it. You'll find all four. It's about
It's on Vimeo, right?
yeah, it's on yeah, it's a Vimeo. So that's a good if you see a Vimeo link, you know that you're on the right page.
Yeah.
Um
Remember though that it's a bit
it's graphic.
it's graphic, yeah.
It's
So
graphic.
just
So
take that into account before watching.
so take that into account. It's a very hard video to watch. You have four videos, one of 11 minutes. The first one, which basically shows you the how it all started, and not from the beginning, but from a certain point. The audio also comes in at a certain point, so it's not you're not seeing the whole story.
No.
Maybe they cut it for a reason. Who knows? But that's 11 minutes. That's focus number one, which is one of the I think that's one of the cops who were there to with at the initial stop. And we're gonna talk about it much deeper later. The second video is more about. The second video shows you the think that's the. Give me a second. I think the second video basically shows you the. I would say that the neighborhood watch footage, where you can see them basically beating to a pulp.
Yeah. I mean,
Guys, this is worse than Rodney King. I'll tell you that much.
you think so? Why do you say that? I'm curious to know.
Well, Rodney still survived.
That's true.
Rodney still survived.
That's true. But I
And
mean,
he got a settlement and and went out on something else. I think he drowned or something like that.
but I think so. So what I mean to say is that although the consequences, do you agree with you? The consequences worse in this particular case. I found the Rodney King video pretty graphic, pretty. But maybe it was because it was the first time I ever witnessed police brutality as well on camera. That
yeah,
or-
maybe you're desensitized.
by now I've seen so many things. It's
You see,
they are. I've seen. I think you've shown me. I've seen.
Oh, why you gotta say this? Oh man, what are you going to say? What did I show you?
I told you I'll snitch, right? No, no, no. Remember the person in the wheelchair
Mm.
received nine.
Oh, guys, this is a story, and maybe we can, maybe that's for another show, or maybe a show that which we can talk about. Um, maybe a different angle.
Different.
This movement could have went.
Yeah.
Because guys, this and again, this is horrible what happened to Tyree, but this is happening all over the board.
Mhm.
It's not only blacks that are getting deleted, whites, Latinos, Asian much less, but
Disabled
everyone in the spectrum is getting deleted.
disabled people. So
No,
it's
disabled people. There is a story in Tucson, and I think, I mean, this is not a story. There's a story in Tucson, guys. You can look it up, where a cop basically deleted someone in a wheelchair because of that person taking something from a Walmart. I mean, come on, dude.
9 in the back on a wheelchair.
Not
Or
even in the
I think
back,
it was
on the
one of
side.
the. It's not. It wasn't a wheel. It was one of the.
One
What's
of those, we can call it a wheelchair. It's basically one of those mobile, scoot
it's a
mobile kind of
moped, right?
things.
Is it a moped? No, it's not a moped.
It's
a
not a
wheelchair.
moped. It's like
Motor-
a mobile, a
Motorized.
mobile wheelchair. It's not in the back either. It's on the side. It's horrible, guys. But yeah, to bring it back, this show is about Tyree. But if you guys want us to talk about where this movement could have went, what were the possible things they could have discussed, please let us know in the chat. But yeah, the second video is about. Yeah, you basically see the footage of the whole altercation, or the whole beating, how you want to call it, from a different angle, not the body cam. The rest of all the footage, number 3 and 4, are all body cam footage. Where number 3 is basically very graphic, where you hear the cops saying, "Hold him, I'm gonna baton the F out of you."
And
It's like it's like a horrible movie. It's the way it plays out. It's like a script. And I'm not suggesting it's a script, guys. Don't get me wrong, because people misconstrue. They're gonna cut this out and say that I'm Edis as well.
you're gonna get. You might get Alex Jones.
I'm gonna get Alex Jones out
You,
here.
I'm a snitch. You're gonna get.
Guys, I'm saying
Crazy.
it's so crazy if you watch it. It's like you're watching it's something you would see in a movie. They held the guy, oh man, they held the guy up and just start punching him like a punching bag.
Yeah, and I'm just saying this is maybe something I can mention later on the show, KR. But if these guys knew jujitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, this wouldn't have ended this way. We're gonna
That's
make a case.
another show. That's another show.
I'm
That's
gonna make
competence.
I'm gonna make a case for that later on the show. I'll just make a case because, um, yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
look up the video so we can continue, and at the end of the show. But guys, I'm telling you, the way they handled the situation, it wasn't professional at all.
Amateur hour at the Apollo.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
Well,
They
I
were, and
I
it's
don't,
probably even worse.
I don't agree. They probably wouldn't have gotten a shot to get booed.
They probably were standing on the corner, busking. It's called busking, right?
Yeah, busking.
Yeah, on the corner of the street. They were, first of all, Tyree really put him to work because they were, after they caught on to him, these guys were totally out of breath. All look like linebackers, by the way. I don't know how they do it, but
Well, are you going? So, are you going to give a play-by-play or?
or maybe I should. So it all starts, and this is the story of the cop. I mean, we watched all the videos. So this is what the cop tells another cop at the end of video number 4, about I think the 13th minute. He basically tells the cop it all started when they were driving on the streets and saw Tyree driving quite recklessly in the opposite direction of traffic. Sorry.
So he was ghost riding,
That's not really what they said. It seems like he was basically swerving.
swerving. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah, because I
and
read he was driving reckless.
yeah,
Recklessly.
he was driving recklessly. And from that point, they tried to stop him. First, they tried to stop it. It didn't work, and I don't know. I don't know what was going on through this mind. Maybe he was on something. Who knows? Allegedly, um, the cops throughout multiple videos. So I think 2 of them, at least 2 videos, they are suggesting that Tyree might have been on something. What that is, they're not saying it. They probably don't even know. But after a period, he just stops and turns on his signal lights. There they block him and try to pull him out of his car. Quite hot-handedly.
Yeah.
They start screaming, yelling at him quite aggressively, get out of the car.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get out of the car. They grab him, pull him out of the car. And from then on, it's already the first step where it's going downhill. They try to push him to the ground. He's saying okay, but he's not cooperating.
Yeah. First he said I didn't do anything wrong. That's when the cop finally reached him and blocked him, where he
Yeah.
was forced to get out. That's when he said I did nothing wrong. And guys, I'm gonna talk. I want to talk a little bit about that as well in a bit, but let's just finish the story first. And when he didn't get on the ground, as you said, they pulled him out. Because he didn't want to go to the ground voluntarily, they were pushing him down. And he was saying, as KR said, okay. But you could still hear the cops trying to
He was
Forcing,
struggling.
struggling because he wasn't. Although he said okay, didn't seem like he was actually.
The guy might have been frail looking, but
He
I
was.
think he was pretty strong because they said after I think it is a fourth video, they said he was strong. And these guys are brolic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they tried to push him down. They was restraining him, trying to put his hand on his back, yelling profanity towards him, screaming to him like, "Put your hands up, comply." He wasn't complying, and then they started macing him in order to basically get him to comply. That didn't work very well because I don't know these cops. I mean, like you said, it's an amateur. It's amateur show. They were macing each other as well.
Mhm, mhm.
They were
Yeah.
not only macing Tyree. They were macing each other, and that happened twice that night. Twice.
Yeah. They were spraying so much, so you could see on one of the body cams the person that was holding the pepper spray, and he was telling him, "I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna spray you." And he was spraying, 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 and then at one point he said, "Oh," he started cursing. He started cursing because it got him in the eye. So he sprayed himself apparently. It seems like because he was spraying so much that eventually the spray reached his eye, reached
Yep.
his eye.
Yeah, and in that period, they also asked him. They asked him to comply. I think 2 times from the top of my head. I could be wrong, guys. If I'm missing something, add in the chat and in the comments. At that moment, they all take like a step back. I think it's because of the mace. And all the pepper spray started getting to all of them, except Tyree. At that moment, at that moment, he saw a chance to start running, and maybe we can talk about that later. One of the lessons I got early on in life.
Mm.
Maybe we can talk about it later. No,
I
I'm
think
gonna
I think we can talk about it now because I think you can share
yeah.
it. Yeah, we share now
Okay. Okay.
because this is a good time. There's
Yeah,
gonna
this
be
is a good
another
time.
time.
This is right because he's trying to run.
Yeah,
And two things, guys. First of all, one philosopher, someone I know, once told me, if you're running from the police, you might be writing your own deletion sentence.
yeah,
There's only two outcomes. Well, actually, three. Actually, three. I said two because one of them is what we
that's the
saw.
same. One of them has the same outcome, I think.
Well, they are close to each other.
Yeah,
So if you run from the police, either you get away or they catch you and you catch your heart beating. Not saying that it's justified. It's just how
it just
the
happened.
it's just the adrenaline that's going through their mind, the power, that power that's there, and not they're like, why you make me run?
Yeah,
And the third one is what happened with Tyree, where they catch you and they beat you, and then you end up doing a dirt nap.
yeah. Or they can do it in other ways as well. They can just let it loose.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, that's another way.
That's
Yeah,
another one. The
because
same
you're
outcome.
running, you have your back to them.
Yeah.
So I've learned quite early in my life. I'll call that person a philosopher. You know who it is, RJ.
I know it is.
That person told me, you run Well, that person that happened. The person said it when it happened to someone else. They showed the video on TV, and the person said, I mean, might sound harsh, but you shouldn't run. Don't run because you open that window.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that happened to Tyree.
Yeah. As you know, KR, I haven't worked as a criminal lawyer for years now.
Hmm.
I have done so in the past, just for 2 years, just to get the experience. But what I can say is that during that time, you get to meet a lot of police officers, from street cops to detectives
Hmm.
and higher ups. And what I can say is that especially the street cops, they have a lot of what I'm going to say right now doesn't justify anything that happened, but it's just stating a fact. Oftentimes they have very they're under a lot of stress. Their routine is non-existent because they work shifts. Oftentimes they need to work double shifts because there are not a lot of people there. Within their own organization, there are a lot of politics being played, a lot of power plays, and you need to, let's say, behave unless you want for them to, place you in a department where you don't want to be placed or something like that.
Hmm.
So a lot of times you're under a lot of stress. That's in general. Aside from that, there are people. Oftentimes their family lives are ruined due to their job because they're almost never at home, or they work around the clock. Oftentimes they have kids but aren't with their wife, or they're with their wives, but just to say, it's not it's oftentimes they don't have a ideal home base.
It wouldn't be the life you would want.
No. But that's why I say, and that so that's you have that. And remember as well, when they wake up, maybe they have to deal, you have to just imagine, sometimes they need to deal with a lot of things, especially the street cops, a lot of things throughout the day, both in their personal lives as well as in their professional lives, from their own colleagues sometimes, or people they encounter while they're doing their job. So that's why I never had a philosopher to tell me what you learned, but I did see it due to my experience as the short stint I did as I worked, amongst other things, as a criminal lawyer. I don't do criminal law anymore. Just comply, because the street cops have very simple jobs. They need to solve simple problems, so small conflicts. If necessary, they can either give you a fine or send you to jail. When you get to jail, that's when you speak to higher ups who have time to look at the situation more calmly, more in depth. The street cop, the street cop's job is not to talk to you and to reason with you. That's not his job at all. He needs to finish his job with you to move on. So considering all of that, your best way, and it's unfortunate I have to formulate it like this, but I do think it is like this. The best way to survive is to just comply. And if you have something to say, you say it. Let's say if they take you to jail, you say it in jail. Or you comply, let them detain you, let them figure out things out, and maybe they will decide to let you go either way. But if you fight, you make matters worse. And like I said, you never know what's going through that person's head or those people's head on that particular point in time.
adrenaline, all that stuff.
Yeah.
One thing, and we've talked about this in the past as well, RJ. I always say that it's always remarkable that the people with less encounter that less encounter the cops, or you call it street cop, patrol cops. um they are always the ones that fall victim in majority of the times to these situations. You will not find in majority of the times. So guys, I'm talking about the outliers. A lot of times hardcore criminals are not the ones that find themselves in these situations because they know how the process goes. You don't talk to them, they don't. There was, guys, and I'm going to refer to a particular video. You guys might know him as a Chicago criminal and rapper. Drill rapper from Chicago. It was deleted, I think, 2 years ago. I think it's 2 years now, right? Is it 2 years? Let me look up real
I have
quick.
no clue.
King Von.
Mm.
There was footage released of King Von a couple of months ago of him interacting with the cops. It's very interesting if you look at how he was interacting with the cops. This is where you see a seasoned person who's been it has encountered cops in the past, because the way he talks to the cops, it's like they are friends. It's just a, okay, you're gonna lock me up, okay, I'm coming with you. And this is where I think a lot of times people who are not have never encountered or don't deal with cops on a daily basis, or even
Correct.
have ever encountered them, they will make that mistake to try to reason with the cop.
There's no time to do that.
There's no time. Just give it up. Take the L.
Survive.
Hardcore, huh?
Survive first.
Survive first. Hardcore criminals only do two things. It's either they bust it out, or they take the L and have their lawyer fight it out. There's only two options in general. If you look
Yep.
at universally, not
Yep.
saying, guys, that you should get into a bust out between cops and you. Not
Definitely
saying
not.
that at all. All I'm
Definitely.
saying is seasoned criminals seem to be able to avoid these situations. It's the normal person who's never encountered a cop or got in the situation in the first place that make these kind of mistakes of trying to reason.
Yeah.
Just comply and fight it out
Later.
in court
Yeah.
later. Make
And
sure you have some.
yeah, there's one more thing as well. I don't think you need to experience it yourself, but oftentimes they get the wrong training, and that's where BLM comes into play.
Wrong training. Who gets the wrong training?
People, or let's say wrong instruction, wrong advice. Instead of people telling them, when things something like this happen, make sure you survive first, and then we can fight the fight. You have BLM, which basically just, in my opinion, puts fuel to the fire. That
Are they trying to make you a victim? The next victim?
they're doing it so they can get their traction, to keep getting their donations. Yeah. But you were telling the story. We left where the cops had him pushed down,
Yeah.
and then they thought they
Then
had him,
they
guys,
thought they had him. But
because
they,
he said, okay, okay, okay.
yeah, okay. I'm gonna comply. They all do a step back because of all the macing. All that pepper spray in the air, they do a step back. It hurt everyone except Tyree. Tyree was like, I'm gonna do the race on these guys.
Yeah.
And this is where I basically started drifting off. He did the race, not for long. They caught up to him. And that's when the beating starts. Because again, he's still trying to fight the cops. All of them are exhausted from running behind him. Adrenaline is pretty high. And then they start, instead of just restraining him, and maybe after this you can discuss about the jiu-jitsu part, RJ. Instead of trying to restrain him in a normal way, they try to hold him. He's still fighting. They start teeing in on him.
Yeah.
Teeing off.
They put him down, made sure that he was handcuffed with his hands behind his back. Two cops pulled him up.
Stand him up so I can tee off. One started throwing him. He even yo, this is crazy. He even describes it to other cops. I was throwing haymakers at him.
Yeah.
During that process, Tyree also tries to grab the gun. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't work.
But
they stand him up.
Yeah, continue.
To hold him up. It's so crazy in the footage. They stand him up, and one just stands there and just starting slapping him, hitting him in the face. Then he falls down. Oh, jeez. He falls down, so they let him go. He's still not really complying. A third one comes with his baton. Like I said, guys, it's so crazy. If you look at it, he pulls out this baton. He tells, I'm a baton the F out of you. Starts hitting him in the back. While he's laying, not laying, he was sitting. Hit him in the back. Hitting him in the back. Twice or three times. And then they seem to restrain him. By the way, even before that, they started kicking him in the head. So it was one hell of a beating.
Yeah. Yeah. And with regards to the jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a lot of people don't know, or some people, more and more people know what it is. But oftentimes, so just in very simple terms, jiu-jitsu is a martial art that focuses primarily on ground fighting. So how do you fight on the ground, right? What happens is that if you don't know how to fight on the ground, you will keep let me formulate it differently. When you know how to fight on the ground, you will know how to escape if someone is on top of you, or how to pin someone down. And so if you're on top of him, but also how to make sure to pin him down in such a way, or approach a situation in such a way where you prevent him from for example, reaching for something. I mean, if the person already has a type of weapon, then of course you don't engage. Guys, don't believe the Detroit survival trainer guy. Never engaged.
All
Increase your
right. Hey,
probability. Never.
if you believe this,
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
guys, get some help, because that will only end you. You only end. It will only end badly. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So, but if you know how to pin someone down, you can.
Ice Cube.
Yeah. So if you know how to pin someone down in a correct way, you can control the situation with less force. You use more technique. It's difficult to, I mean, conceptually you might understand it, but if you haven't practiced jujitsu or if you don't practice jiu-jitsu, it's gonna be, you can even imagine, but it's a very powerful tool. I'm just gonna show a short video of how the cops could have handled the situation, and I will just share my screen, and we can proceed with that. So this guys, I don't know if you can see him. But
Police training reimagined.
yeah, this person is Hannah Gracie. He comes from the Gracie.
Crazy. So royal.
The Gracies are royals. He comes from the line of the Gracies that basically started that transformed the jiu-jitsu, which was a Japanese martial arts, into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, in which they focused more on self-defense. So a lot of techniques are for self-defense. Of course, you also have sport jiu-jitsu. But this person is actively focusing on prevention of, so to train cops, basic level jiu-jitsu, in order to make sure that they don't escalate situation. I would imagine, if you have the time, you can watch this video. It's a 1 hour and 30-minute video, but I just want to show this video right now, which is a very simple video. Let me see if I can unmute it.
Will not believe what just happened. Last week, Brian Ortega and I did a Pennsylvania state shooting, and we discussed the importance of the 100-second rule when it comes to controlling suspects. Check it out. But most importantly, 100-second rule. Put the suspect on their back, hold them for 100 seconds. When their spirit is completely wiped out, then you take the gradual progressive steps into, of course, the handcuffing procedure. Now, what's crazy?
So 100-second rule. So in jiu-jitsu, when you're on top of someone, the first reaction of the person will be to escape.
Yeah.
However, if you know how to control person, you can control, and you can maintain a dominant position. That person will eventually lose the will to keep resisting. But if you keep holding someone or pushing, and that person feels like, hey, if I push back, I can do something, that person will keep moving longer. So this is just a situation.
Crazy is yes.
You can see the cop go for a single leg or double leg, try to get him down.
Yesterday, a video lands on my feed of a police officer taking down a suspect, passing the guard.
Passing the guard, which means to say that he is passing the legs. You see, passing the legs while maintaining the suspect down.
Side mount control, transitioning to mount, and then displaying the most spectacular mount control I've ever seen caught on tape. From
the mount control is basically where you're on top of him. You can also get a back mount where you have, his back. But here, if you haven't, for those who practice jiu-jitsu know, if you don't know, you're not using force to pull him down. You're using your body weight, and you're leveraging your body weight.
Any police officer in my life. Look at this. Deep leg hooks, incredible hip pressure for immobilization, and even more impressive is the cross-face shoulder hook and same side wrist control he maintains in order to keep the suspect off his gun. Literally perfect control tactics with weapon retention consideration. Eventually, his team shows up and they take him into custody, no problem.
So that's enough.
The guy is wet. Let's be honest. Well, what are they doing?
Cool.
So you see, when the cars arrive,
With
the weight
weapon retention consideration.
of water
Eventually,
also,
his team shows up and they take him into
he
custody.
wet everyone up. Look at this.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
But oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So you just said that while two cops were holding Tyree back, so holding him so the other one or ones could punch him, could throw haymakers, he tried to reach for their weapon. Here, you can see that the way, because he is holding the arm on this side, he cannot grab his weapon.
Yeah, he's protecting it. It's around. It's
Because he's consciously protecting himself.
he cannot reach over his back. So it's very good technique, though. If you break it down the way you're doing it.
Yeah. And this body weight, the cop's body weight, again, guys, if you haven't practiced jiu-jitsu, for those of you, please, if you know what I'm talking about, guys, let me know in the chat. I don't want to sound like the crazy one here, but the cop is using his body weights to control him, and he's using the two knees. If you look at his so he has his legs, the two knees on both sides on both sides of his hip, thereby making hip mobility difficult, if not possible. We call it the 4 points. He has one hand holding the guy's left hand, and his body weight and elbow, probably, I don't know if it's an elbow or if he has it around his neck,
Elbow is around his neck, because if you see the hands is up and the other hand is right below it.
Yeah. So the elbow is holding him down on his right shoulder. So his right shoulder is blocked, his left arm, he can't move, and both his hips are blocked. Someone can come easily, and you can hold that position way longer than if you try to hold someone with your arms. So just wanted to show that if the cops knew these techniques, and I know that Henry Gracie is a big proponent. He's been championing police training, not defunding police like some people think. If you defund the police, then you're basically asking for anarchy. But he's actually he's saying, no, let's train these cops jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so they know how to defend themselves, and to not only defend themselves, protect the suspect while they are acting, because they wouldn't need to use excessive force. The way it's clear that they were 5 people, I think 4 or 5. None of them knew apparently knew how to handle one person. And look at this guy.
Dude, I'll say this much.
Amateur.
If they would have used this technique, it wouldn't even come to that part, because then they would have restrained it at the car.
Of course.
He wouldn't have even ran away. You wouldn't have a chance to run away, because they would have restrained it there. Maybe they pepper spray him or not. That I don't care about that part. He wouldn't have run away, and it wouldn't come to this.
No, they were
So
doing
it's bad training, outdated training, bad technique. Amateurs, they don't know what they're doing. Maybe the reason why they're not getting training is because they started defunding these police officers at certain places. That's one thing they started already doing. They are moving the money to other cases where you get untrained drivers, untrained cops trying to restrain people, and you end up creating more of these situations. The solution isn't to defund the police, because then you create more of these situations.
Yeah.
I mean, for some of us, it's better if these situations come more often because it gets some people some more money.
Yeah.
But for
Enter.
the betterment of the community, it's not the right solution. But
Yeah.
continue, Archie.
I was just about to say, for some people, they get more money. Enter Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, guys, is talking about defunding police. The Black
I've
Lives
been
Matter.
talking about this before.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter is talking about, and maybe now we can move to. I'll just finish my thought, and we can move to the
Statement,
statement.
because
To
it's
see.
a good transition.
Because Black Lives Matter should be talking about what I just talked about right now, about how we can protect. So teach cops proper technique that will prevent unnecessary damages, unnecessary problems, unnecessary deletions. Instead, they're talking about defunding. Defunding is not going to work, because if you don't have law enforcement, then what will happen to the society? We will end up in a state of anarchy. And as a lawyer, I can tell you that a law, or to break it down even more simpler, a rule is only as strong as the ability to enforce it. You're not allowed, I'll just give an example. You're not allowed to drive through red
Red light, that is.
light.
Well, there is another red you can drive too, but I don't think we're talking about that. We're not talking about that red.
That's a different red. That
Sorry,
maybe it's not driving either. But
it has nothing to do with driving. Yeah, that is true.
but you're not allowed to drive through a red light. However, if you do, let's say you do it, and there are no cops, there's no one to enforce it, there are no cameras and no meters to speed meters to catch your speed and to give you a fine. So in other words, there are no consequences for driving through red, then everyone would start driving through red. So you need to have rules, but you also need people to enforce them. That's why the narrative that Black Lives Matter, and to be clear, we're talking about Black Lives Matter organizations, not the movement. But the notion that we don't need cops is simply a misleading notion. And we've seen defunding of police. And KR, what can you tell me about and the chat about the consequences of defunding police?
I can tell you this much. We have seen. I'm not saying it was defunding. In California, they started basically changing certain laws, and that has led to weird situations where people are running into running into stores, either with a group of people or with well, it's always in a group of looters, how you want to call it. And one of the best examples is this in LA. Let's take us
California
love. There's not a lot of love going down there. Anyway, so this is what was happening. I'll give you a short view.
Look at this video. It is from last Sunday at the 7-Eleven at El Segundo and Figueroa. The mob of about 100 people just goes through the store, ransacking it and destroying it, stealing everything in sight. They even jump behind the counter and start handing out cigarettes and lotto tickets. Police are also particularly interested in finding one man on the video wearing a Colorado Rockies cap and a backwoods jersey. He actually starts throwing bananas and chips at the lone terrified employee. Police say the people on this video could face charges of vandalism, looting, and grand theft. And again, they think they came into the store from a massive street takeover just outside. And now the LAPD is vowing anyone caught at a street takeover will have their cars impounded for at least 30 days.
Do you guys think this happens because laws are being enforced? This is just one of the examples. We've seen a multiple this past 2-3 years.
Many.
People are just walking in and walking out with store property.
Yeah.
Stolen property. Store property, stolen properties.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. And from what I understand, but I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong. Police isn't responding to any calls that's less than $1,000
Yeah.
out there. So if it's a small change, just forget it. Just let them take it, because if you run up and you get clapped, it's your problem.
Yeah.
And if you clap them, it's your problem as well.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing, because then they will sue you because they are stealing. But okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called misdemeanor. So a misdemeanor is described as a crime where the maximum sentence is no longer than 1 year in a county jail and a fine up to $1,000.
They have moved these things, so these small smash and grabs, they have moved them out of the misdemeanor.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Not
saying.
misdemeanor anymore.
So you can stop them. So someone will just enter your store. So that's what we will resort to, guys. Don't fool yourself. If we don't have cops, we need trained cops.
Yeah, that's what we need.
We do need cops. Now,
And apparently,
what did you say?
apparently, that's not how the leaders of the community think about it.
No, I don't know what community you're talking about.
Well,
Black Lives Matter doesn't think like that.
yeah, that's what I called the so-called leaders of the community.
Okay, then you should added the air quotes.
Maybe I should have added the air quotes, guys. Come on. The so-called leaders of the community, they're trying to move the culture forward. I don't know where forward. Forward towards the Stone Age, maybe. So this is part of the Black Lives Matter statement. They say the following: 5 officers brutally beat Tyre to deletion. Although the media has spent a great amount of time drawing the attention to the fact that the police officers are black, as if it is important. Let us be clear. All capital letters. Police represent the interests of capitalism and impel state-sanctioned violence. They keep using this word capitalism. Have they ever been to let's call it the opposite of capitalism?
Socialistic or communistic.
Have you ever been to North Korea or Cuba or one of these states that have the ideal situation, what they want?
Yeah. Well, the anti-capitalistic leaders are living in mansions. They are typing on their capitalistic capitalistic made devices, MacBooks or other devices.
MacBook. They probably I'll bet you they'll have MacBooks.
I think so too. But I didn't want to throw MacBook under the bus. I also have a MacBook. But
Guys, I just have a laptop.
because
Only the ones who understand that joke.
yeah, so I find it funny when people they blame things on capitalism, because capitalism is not perfect, just like any other country.
That's definitely true.
Would you rather live in a communistic country than go to Russia? Russia's not capitalistic anymore, allegedly. I don't know what Russia is.
Let's use North Korea as a good example or Cuba.
Yeah, well, North Korea for sure.
Or you don't want to use Cuba. You want to still go to Cuba, I guess.
Of course, Cuba's I love it there, man. But
Don't let me open my mouth. I
no,
mean,
but
people.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
for sure. And so capitalism is not perfect, but it's the best option we have. Now, there doesn't exist a full capitalistic country. Of course, you need to have socialistic programs as well. But to blame it on capitalism is just, and it's every time they keep saying the same thing. It just seems like they grab the same text, enter it into Chat GPT. And ask,
Please rewrite this in a different way. Please rewrite this in a different way.
bruh.
Hey,
I'm telling you, it's
You're right though. It's the
It's
same.
the same.
It's the same. One thing, they're consistently saying the same things. That you cannot blame. You cannot say they are inconsistent,
yeah, no,
but they're consistently weird. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Can you scroll up a bit?
Of course, I can.
Just a bit. Yeah. Let me see. Or is it higher, perhaps?
What?
Yeah, that's the first sentence, actually. First sentence, second line. They use the white S word again.
Yeah.
And again, it's always the same things. It's always the same thing. We've seen videos of all type of people of all different kind of races get
Can
got by cops. It's due to bad training. Now, you can say that it's the government, because at the end of the day, it's the government that's in charge of the training, etc., etc. But to just throw the white S word out, throw it up in the air, you're not really tackling the problem. You're just basically throwing things that people want to see, people want to hear. But what you buzzwords, exactly. But what you actually do is, because you don't talk about it in a complete way, take it out of context, you incite hate. The problem isn't defunding police. The problem is giving police the proper training. So what lobbyists should be doing is actually trying to lobby to get they do need, for sure, jiu-jitsu in their lives. Blue lives need jiu-jitsu. Second of all,
It will help Sorry,
And-
I'm interrupting.
Of course.
Sorry, I'm interrupting, but it will not only help blue lives, it will help all lives.
All lies.
He's not only saving his own life by knowing jiu-jitsu, he's also saving that other person's life he's detaining.
Yeah, definitely. Because remember the video I showed, guys. The guy, the police was, if you compare how this police handled the situation to how the police in the unfortunate Tyre Nichols situation handled the matter, it's completely different. It's night and day. Let me just
If you didn't see it before,
if you
while he's
didn't see it before.
opening it up, okay, he's already there.
Guys, this guy, remember there were four policemen that had a problem,
with restraining one single guy.
one person. And we
In
already
two
told you,
occasions.
what did you say?
Two different occasions.
On two different occasions.
On two different occasions.
The same night, the first stop, and the second time they detained.
Within 10 minutes time.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
And here you have one person.
Once, guys, look, pause it right there, guys. You
Yeah.
see the difference in size. Look at the difference in size. All the other cops in that situation with Tyre were all brawler guys. They
Bigger.
could stand bigger guys, both physically, in tallness and also in wideness. Brawler guys. Tyre is a frail guy, with all due respect. R.I.P. Tyre. He wasn't the biggest brawler guy.
No.
They couldn't handle him.
No.
The guy was describing after it all happened. He was describing as if he was fighting.
A dragon.
No, Tyson.
Mike Tyson, yeah.
Mike Tyson. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? But continue, RJ. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but it's getting a bit.
And you mentioned something, because if you know the proper technique, you can minimize the effect that size has on the particular person. Look at this. The cop, he goes down. He changes level. He goes to a lower level to get the double leg. Once you have a double leg, which basically means you have the two legs.
Is it done?
He has it here. The
It's
only
done.
thing,
It's
well,
over.
if you need to have the double leg and you need to drive with your body forward, you can't do anything. You need to fall. You can't do anything. When you
He gave it up.
the most dangerous, and this is from not John Danaher, which is who is basically I would say high level, one of the best jiu-jitsu trainers of all time. He coaches, he trains Gordon Ryan, amongst other people. But
Who's Gordon?
Gordon Ryan is perhaps the best grappler we know. So you have in jiu-jitsu, you have gi, that is when they train with the kimono, the white suits, and you have no gi, in which they just have rash guards. So he's the best at least in his category, one of the best, if not the best in the world. He has won a bunch of things, so I consider him the best in the world in his category for sure. And his trainer is John Danaher, and John Danaher always tells you need to have. So first you need to control. Then after you control, you need to get past the legs. Why do you need to get past the legs? Because the legs are powerful. If he starts kicking, he just needs to kick one time in the face and he can get out. So you need to pass the legs while controlling the person. Because if you let go, the guy can stand up. You need to start all over. So he needs to pass the leg. What he does is he keeps holding the leg and just steps on the side. Now, as soon as he stepped on the side, what does he do? He puts his
Mount.
body.
Is it called mount?
Not yet. He puts his
Oh, okay,
body
okay.
weight.
I was trying to jab on BJ.
You were getting too excited.
I don't know nothing about BJ Dreamer. I'm just
He, he puts his body weight immediately on the person's torso. Listen, and remember, guys, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened, who was in the right, who was in the wrong. But we're just showing how differently the situation can.
ended already before it's even started.
Here,
Continue, RJ.
here, what he does, well, I don't know if you can see it clearly because it's right. He doesn't have a
on
mount
top.
yet. He hasn't stepped over yet.
Yeah.
But here, you can see him starting. This is his leg here. He's starting to step over. See his leg? Boom. Step over. He's blocking with his knees. With both knees, he's blocking his hips. The one hand is holding his wrist. And with his right hand, he's holding the suspect's left arm, or at least his wrists. And with his left elbow, and more specifically his body weight, he's putting pressure on the right shoulder of the suspect, thereby having control. And he can, and trust me, when you have this position, if you're on top, it doesn't require, it's not force, it's technique. He can hold him down. That person can feel the pressure, but he's safe. He can feel the pressure, but he's safe.
You're not stepping on Noah's neck.
Not stepping on neck, not needing
Pressing
to
someone's throat. It's just safe for everyone. You're not punching out. It's all secure. Saving both people's lives. You have someone locked up who can face trial, and you don't get any case on you as a cop.
Yeah, but as the suspect as well, you're safer. So instead of Black Lives Matter talking ignorant things about defunding and throwing things in the air that will only incite hate, let's solve the problem. Let's give the cops proper training. Let's give the cops proper pay.
That's all the training first, but
no, yeah. But let's get. I mean,
you get payment based on your experience and how good you do your job.
In this particular case, all the officers, all the cops were black.
Yeah.
That's why they're not. That's why they're not saying, "Hey," because in the past, the narrative they used in the past was that white cops were the perpetrators, and now they can't say it because the perpetrators are black, and now they say no, they're black, but they're working under the white. So it's you need if you have black cops and white cops with proper training, you can limit a lot of situations. You can prevent a lot of unnecessary bad situations. So instead of inciting hate as they usually do, can you pull up the?
I'll pull it up. I have it already under my thumb because I was. Do you want to go to the top or do you want to continue?
Yeah, just continue.
So after that, they say capitalism, state-sanctioned violence. They go on and say anyone who works within a system that perpetuates state-sanctioned violence is complicit in upholding white supremacy.
Now, in which system does Black Lives Matter work? Where do they live? Where do they pay their taxes? Where do they buy their house?
Well, that's a good question.
Where
do they live in the hood?
Where did they buy their where did the leaders buy their houses?
We all know, guys.
With donation money.
It wasn't in the hood where they buy their houses. It wasn't in the hood. So when because they also after that they start talking about assimilation into a system that is anti-black is one of the most dangerous weapons stemming from white supremacy. Blah 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 blah. This moment affirms what we've already known. Reform doesn't work. Incremental progress is too slow. Diversifying a police department will not work. No police department, no matter how diverse, can ever overcome the reality that is a direct descendant of slave patrols. Anyway, police will never keep our community safe. I have a thing to do. I'll say the last sentence, and after that, I'm gonna go back to that one. Our call to defund the police includes ending traffic stops for minor traffic violations and removing police from traffic interactions. What the heck are they talking about? What? Oh, this means that not only will you drive people will drive red lights, because that's what is minor? This is the vague talk.
That's a vague talk, yeah.
What is minor? If someone drives to red, is that minor?
Well, let me put it like this. One of the leaders, I didn't see the Candace Owens
No, maybe we should look at that.
documentary. Maybe we should. But there's in the trailer, she goes and visits one of the leaders' houses, mansions. High walls, high gates, white neighborhood.
Not in the ghetto. They didn't invest in the ghetto.
Okay.
They're not with the regular folks. Because they love using the word folks.
Because in their situations, I want to know, if someone breaks into their houses, who will they call?
Ghostbusters. That's what they call.
Well, the movie was the latest movie was a bust, and if they don't call the police, it's gonna be a bust as well. They're gonna call the police.
Yeah, they will. So they don't want you to call the police, but they will.
Yeah.
If you break into their house.
Yeah, they will call the police. So, all in all, this only goes to show that what we always say, guys, we need to keep our eyes open. People talking when things like these, when unfortunate incidents like these happen, always try to understand the situation. Try to get the full information yourself. Don't let anybody else tell you what happened or what didn't. So we're just telling you our thoughts and opinions. If you haven't watched the videos yet, go ahead. We urge you to go ahead and watch the videos, form your own opinion, and please share.
Let us know in the comments. Like
Let
you
us-
said,
Yeah, let
if
us
we're
know.
wrong, we're wrong. Tell us in the comments we're wrong, guys. We could be wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
our perception is very bad.
Yeah, but
But make sure you come with logic. Don't come full with emotions.
yeah. And remember as well, guys, when we're hearing, as Denzel Washington put it perfectly, if you don't read the news or don't keep up with the news, you're uninformed. If you do follow the news, watch the news, read the news, you're misinformed. Remember to keep thinking critically, and that's why we always say here on the Double Touch Show, keep exchange your thoughts and opinions with one another, because iron sharpens iron. And by engaging with each other in dialogue, healthy dialogue, where everyone can express themselves, no matter on any kind of topic, without getting emotional, getting mad and calling people names, we can help each other better understand complex situations. And that doesn't mean that we will have the same thoughts and opinions, but at least we would all get a better understanding of the various aspects of a story, of a theme, of a topic, because the reality is that the reality of the matter is that life isn't as simple as people make it out to be. It's more complicated than
Black
that.
and white. A great monologue right there, RJ. To agree with you on every point. It doesn't matter what color you are, man. Logic will prevail will transcend color, guys.
Yeah.
If you have a logical way to solve this problem, put it in the chat. Put it in the comments.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, guys, it's crazy. We have to talk about it, but I don't know what Black Lives Matter is trying to do. I really don't know. I really, really don't know.
Well, I know.
Well, making you victims. I think that's make everyone victim.
Well,
Maybe.
they see an opportunity to get,
Allegedly.
they see an opportunity to get money.
I think this belongs to me.
That's what it's about.
And that also means
Donations.
hey,
It is what it is.
Free money, free money.
Yeah.
guys, it's a sad thing, and it's unfortunate that Tyree had to suffer what he did. I mean, what happened was terrible. And again, as we already opened the show with it, and as already we mentioned it a couple of times, our thoughts go and prayers go out to the families. So you wish what happened to him to no one.
No.
That's definitely a sad way to go out. Very sad way. Incompetence always speed up. It will catch you at a certain point.
Yeah.
And these guys were obviously incompetent.
Yeah. And this is a very unfortunate situation, guys. But let's use Tyre Nichols' situation to learn. Don't let his story be for nothing. Let's try to help each other. Let's try to spread better information out there. And as Kara said, our thoughts and prayer goes out to Tyre Nichols and family and friends. So his family and friends, wish him all the best. A lot of strength during these times.
I want to point out another part, by the way. They close out the statement with the following. We are in solidarity with Tyree's family as they seek accountability. As they should.
As they
As
should.
they should. And uplift their demand that the city of Memphis disband the special crime unit that murdered their loved one. Did I mention the unit earlier?
No,
Not sure if I did.
you didn't.
So guys, it is rumored that these guys, a couple of them, might have been part of the Scorpion crime unit, which is a unit that was founded in 2021. And between 2000 and they were founded because of the high crime, the pressure of high crime happening in Memphis. So they weren't put together for fun. They made 556 from the top of my head. I could be wrong. 566 arrests between 2021, October 2021, and January 2022. trying to clean up the streets. Could be hard-handedly how they did it. I'm not gonna lie. But the reason why it was founded is because of the high crime rate. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Ask yourself this. If their goal as a crime unit, the Scorpion crime unit, if their goal is to lower the crime rate, and they might have done it with the 566 arrests so far in between the time they were founded and 2022 January. What will happen if they disband the unit and the crime rises again? What will so far we always see Black Lives Matter raise their voice when there is police involved with the crimes. We never see them when there is a crime between citizens. I'm talking about people getting popped in the hood. You never see them. You never see them march in Chicago or Detroit or any other city where the crime rate is pretty high. They only march when there seems to be a police involved. At the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that, as RJ already said, without cops, less safety.
Yeah.
Less safety. Who will be the victims at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Do you know, guys? You can Google this yourself. Who are most frequent hurt by crimes in their own neighborhood? Just remember that.
Yeah. On that note, we can close this segment.
I think we can. Can we?
I think so. Guys, thanks to everyone that's watching this pre-recorded live show as well as the rebroadcast. This is a pre-recorded, but we are in the chat, guys. So please feel free to share your thoughts and opinions. For those of you watching the rebroadcast, please share your thoughts with us as well. We'd like to think if you think that we are right or if you think we are wrong. Please motivate your thoughts and opinions so we can understand where you're coming from as well. Trolls, and the trolls are also welcome because you help with the engagement. Also, guys, most important thing, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. It's very important to us. We want to keep making more and more live shows. We have a lot of plans going on, not only live shows, but we have other plans coming up as well.
So a couple of things in the cannon, ready, lock and loaded.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. So please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. It helps us with the algorithm, helps us to achieve our goal as well. We want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of June of this year. Remember, guys.
I would say April, but maybe June is more.
June is better. Remember,
more realistic.
Yeah. Remember as well, guys, if you haven't done so, rate the show by pressing the like button and follow us on our social media pages as well, both Instagram and Facebook. You can find us at the Double Thought or at Double Thought Show. So at Double Thought Show on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, guys, as well, to share the video with your friends, with your family, but perhaps more importantly, share it with.
Los enemigos.
Yes, guys. Share it with the enemy to distract him. Remember
The chair. It's like a wrestling show. You hit him with the chair in the back.
metaphorical chair.
Metaphorical chair, alleged chair. The ghost chair.
The ghost chair. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So just to recap very quickly, we talked today about the
Unfortunate passing.
fortunate passing of Tyre Nichols. I mean, it's crazy how things happened. It like KR said, it seems like a movie the way things went down. So as it stands, from what we read, the officials, the cops, have been let go. They've been fired, and they will face charges going on forward because their unprofessional, overly excessive way of handling the situation, handling the detainment of the late Tyre Nichols, led to his passing. It's very unfortunate. We talked about. Want to say something?
Overall amateurs. That's only what I want to say.
Amateur.
It's sad. It's sad that you're losing your life to amateurs, but
Yeah. But so we talked about that. We talked as well about how a better technique. Black Lives Matter always calls for defunding police, but we showed examples of how defunding police didn't help. People started looting because they know that there are no consequences. And remember, guys, a rule doesn't need to be a law. A rule is only as strong as your ability to enforce it. If you can't enforce a rule, the rule might as well not exist. It's just a non-existent rule. So remember that as well.
that also applies to contracts.
Contracts as well. Contracts as well. But in contracts, you set rules.
Right.
So
if you cannot proceed, you're lost. So sorry,
definitely.
I had to say that because we're also a business. We're also a business channel. So
talk about business as well. Yeah. So another thing, guys, we talked about the incident. We talked about how defunding police isn't the answer. Training the police is better. And to that point, we showed twice in this show a clip of how similar situation was handled by one agent, an agent that knew how to at least wrestle or had a sufficient knowledge of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is basically ground fighting. You could see how almost effortlessly he controlled the situation, put the suspect down, ended up on top of the suspect, and controlled him without using force. He just used, or at least without using excessive force and power, he just used his technique and gravity to hold the person down. That was that way. By doing that, he could achieve his goal, which was to control the situation while at the same time keeping the suspect safe. So we should be keeping cops. We should be keeping suspects safe. We should train cops, because in the Tyre Nichols, we saw how 4 people, linebacker-looking type of people, couldn't hold down one single person properly. They had to result in excessive force, punching, kicking, hitting with a baton, spraying,
standing him up,
holding him up, and throwing haymakers at him. It's just crazy. Every time I see it, it's just crazy. It's very unfortunate.
It's very sad.
So and that's why when we looked at the end, we looked at the statement of Black Lives Matter, and we see that it's always the same narrative they throw in the air. It's always there's a white supremacy. It's always things that do not benefit it does not solve the problem. They throw fuel to the fire just to get traction. They do not. If they say that Black Lives Matter, but if you look at it's every time when a black man becomes victim to a situation, when they get traction, that's when they get more donation and they come out and they yell a lot of things. But if you don't believe us, go check out their mission and vision statement. It's black men aren't even mentioned. They mention a lot of other people. Black men aren't even mentioned in their mission and vision statement. That's why we could see, to answer the question, will BLM exploit Tyre Nichols' beating and consequences following that beating? It seems as if Black Lives Matter, and when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean the organization, not the movement. It seems that BLM will continue the narrative that it's portraying to benefit itself. If they really wanted to solve the problem, they would have approached it differently. Guys, that's a quick recap of the show. KR, did I miss anything?
No, you didn't miss anything. One thing I want to also say again, guys, if you defund the police, you get more of these situations. The only way, like RJ said, the only way to go forward is to fund the police and have them spend the money on proper training.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have proper training, you get these idiots. And it could be me. It could be you. It could be your son. It could be your daughter.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. They think they're doing something. Before you know it, adrenaline kicks in. They start punching up someone. And then you have another victim.
Yeah.
And we're not anti-cops. We're not anti-no one. We're only trying to...
Pro-life.
We're pro...
We are pro-life.
We are pro-life. And not the way you guys think about pro-life.
No.
Because you're programmed to think that way.
Yeah.
We're talking about pro-life, whatever race, gender, whatever you stand for.
Yeah.
We are pro-humans.
Yeah.
More of untrained cops will result in more of these situations. And let's be honest, guys, it will only help
BLM.
one organization in this case.
BLM.
More funding.
BLM. Yeah.
More private homes for some people, allegedly.
Yeah. More mismanagement of funds, more disappearance of money.
By the way, donate to us if you have chance. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Okay, so on that note, guys, we again thank you a lot. Really, really, really thank you for your support. We thank you as well for tuning in, liking the video, sharing the video with your friends, your families, and your enemies. Remember to subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to us. Guys, we want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of June of this year. We're working extremely hard, strategizing, pivoting here and there. We're gonna
we have some things in the canon.
Yeah, we have some things in the canon, so definitely stay tuned to our channel. We greatly appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Please feel free to share with us your thoughts and opinions, because it really helps us as well understand. We want to know. We're open to know if perhaps we're wrong. We're open to know that we are wrong, or that perhaps we didn't touch all aspect of this subject, or that we looked over a particular part of the subject. Please let us know. And remember, guys, as KR always says,
But I can only show you the door.
You'll have to walk through it.
let's have a healthy conversation in the chat, guys. We will see each other in the next show. Until next time.
Thank
Peace.
you. Peace.